Hello and welcome to the New Covenant podcast, where we use the teachings of the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church to navigate life in the New Covenant. I'm Macoy Hampton,
I'm Isaac Hernandez.
and what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about the liturgy wars. What is it? What is the problem? Is the problem Francis? Is the problem the traditionalists? Is it the Norvus Ordo? Or is the problem you? McCoy, here we go. Let's do it. Let's get into it.
To be fair, I did not know we were talking about this,
yeah. I kept this a secret.
and I have some reservations about talking about it, but
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
we'll get into that a little bit.
What are your reservations?
Man, this is probably the most controversial topic in the church today.
Yep.
There's a lot of heated opinions about it.
Yeah,
People are going to say that we don't know what we're talking about.
for sure.
People are going to say that because we haven't been lifelong Catholics that we don't know what we're talking about.
For sure.
People will say that we got our facts wrong, stuff like that.
And we probably will get our facts wrong. I mean, we're kind of off the cuff, going off memory, real raw conversation. This is what it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so
Yeah, so what well, I guess we'll just start. What are your opinions about this whole thing?
oh man, how would I put this? I agree about 60% with the what we would call traditionalists.
Yeah.
I disagree with a lot of what they say. I agree with them in their intention.
Yeah.
I disagree with most of the prominent voices and methods of going about talking about this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess we'll get into more about that throughout the episode. But
Yeah, just to give you guys some background. So I came into the church in April, whenever Easter was. I got confirmed into the church April, the Easter Vigil, and it was through a Norvus Ordo parish. And I had no idea about. I've never even attended a traditional Latin Mass at that time, but I have heard the rumblings of Norvus Ordo versus TLM. And I think you had attended a TLM.
yeah, I attended one before I was baptized.
Yeah. And you didn't like it, right?
I didn't like it. No, I didn't. Well, I didn't like that particular church.
Okay. And what was it about? What was it about it that you didn't like?
It was unintelligible for the most part, and I know a lot of people will argue like, "Hey, that's like the whole. That's kind of like the whole.
That's the whole thing.
It's like the whole thing. It's like a mystery, and you don't know what's going on."
Yeah.
Which fair enough, I suppose. And there is like this kind of mystical air about it. The particular parish that I went to though was pretty underdeveloped. They were like, I think a lot of people when they think about like a traditional Latin mass, they think about like a beautiful church. They think about like
a Vatican style. Yeah.
Yeah, this was like kind of like a shack.
So
it's like, so it was like it was full of people. I will say like it was full of people.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I could only stand.
Yeah, because there's no seats. Like if you get there, like the mass starts at 11. If you get there at 10:30, it's already packed.
Yeah, and being packed at the back, I was like, "What are we even doing?"
Yeah, this sucks. I can't even hear the priest. He's
like not to say that I don't think the Latin Mass sucks or whatever.
No,
but that as I was discerning Catholicism, and I went there, I wasn't like blown away by it or anything.
Yeah, for sure. And look, I think we would both agree we love the traditional Latin Mass. At least now we do. At the time we didn't. I actually had the same experience. Like I went and I was like, what is going on? Priest is facing the wall. Why is he doing that?
Yeah, and like even then, like I understood because I had done a lot of. I already knew about the whole like stuff going on in the church at that time.
Yeah.
So I like understood why he was doing everything. That's why I went there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Like before I got baptized, I went to a bunch of churches just to like see.
Mm-hmm.
I went to like a Byzantine church.
Yeah.
It was also pretty small.
Yeah.
I went to, Novus Ordos, a couple different ones,
Yep.
bigger churches, smaller churches.
Yep.
We'll get into later which one I kind of decided to attend regularly.
For sure.
Um, but like I understood what was happening. I understood the parts of the liturgy. I understood
Yeah.
why he was doing it.
Yeah.
And even with that knowledge, I was kind of like, I don't know. People build up the Latin Mass to be this big thing,
Hmm.
and when you go to a church like that, I suppose it can be like, if you have large expectations, it can be a little underwhelming.
Hmm.
Um, Especially when it's like, it's packed. There's a bunch of kids there, which is not a bad thing, but you know, it's hard to follow unless you're reading along with the missal and you can kind of and you're close up to the priest, at least in this particular parish.
Sure.
Um,
You have to really know what's going on. You got to really be well versed in the missal and the order and all that. You got to really know what's going on in order to, I guess, fully appreciate it. But I do understand that the use of Latin is like a sacred language and it's supposed to transcend the intellect. Like, I know the whole thing is like you're not supposed to understand or you're not necessarily supposed to like the music or whatever, but it's supposed to go past your intellect and into your spirit. And
mm,
it's like a transcendent experience. It's supposed to be, like a picture of the heavenly liturgy
yeah,
on earth. And I understand. And I love that about it.
yeah.
I love that about it. Yeah. So like, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It is. It's beautiful. It's not bad.
No, it's great. I love the traditional Latin mass. Just full disclosure, I've been going to a TLM for like 2 months now, every Sunday.
Yeah.
Just experience it because I honestly like I have the same sort of thoughts as you. I don't necessarily like it, but I want to like it. I because it's the history of the church kind
Yeah.
of on full display.
Yeah.
And what brought me into the Catholic Church is the preservation of tradition.
Uh-huh.
The preservation of tradition is what gave us Scripture, and this is sort of like that in acted out in a physical sense. And so I love that. I don't necessarily, I guess you can say, like it, quote unquote, like it, but I'm trying to like it. I'm trying to get myself there. The
Yeah.
thing
I
that
think if we had like a grander Latin Mass parish, it'd be a little different.
it'd be easier to
And
like
some
it for
people will
sure.
say like that's the problem is like the
Right.
Latin Mass has been hamstringed or whatever.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the liturgy is not necessarily supposed to meet your needs. You're supposed to go there to offer up worship to God. Like the liturgy is not for you.
Which is fair.
Yeah,
And so I guess my question is then what's the problem with the Novus Ordo?
exactly. What is the problem with the Norvus Ordo? Right, and this
Like
is yeah,
barring explicit abuses, explicit liturgical abuses.
yeah,
If the mass is supposed to, if the mass is supposed to be like as you said, like not necessarily for you, then what's the deal? Why are people mad about it? Why are
exactly.
why are people like
Yeah,
barring explicit liturgical abuses?
yeah,
The same should follow
yeah,
with people who don't have access to the Latin Mass.
yeah. From what I've heard online and from just different Catholics and from you is that the the problem with the Norvus Ordo is that it's Protestant or it looks Protestant.
Hmm.
It's you
Which
know
I think is a fair criticism
absolutely,
of some parishes.
absolutely, yeah. Do you think this is like the biggest problem in the church ever?
No, far from the biggest problem
Yeah,
of the church.
exactly.
Like historically,
Yeah, historically,
no way.
exactly.
Like, yeah, no way.
No, 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 no. Yeah, and I've heard people say like the the new mass is a Freemason infiltration of the Catholic Church.
People have said this.
People have said exactly, and it's we have a false pope,
Yeah,
and that's why they changed the
I think.
mass,
I
and it's
think.
they're trying to destroy the Catholic
Yeah,
Church. They're trying to destroy all of these things, and that's
yeah,
where the SSPX comes from. I think I don't really know, but
yeah,
they are in schism or in like a halfway schism because they're like that's not the real pope, the set of Contis kind of thing.
yeah. And I think this is my main concern with um, being kind of hardcore about this because I think it comes from a good place for most people. It's like, yeah, we want to reclaim the tradition of the church, um, but like it does lead to these conspiracy theories about like the papacy
Right.
and like the infiltration of the church, and like the church has been infiltrated before. You know what I mean? Like the papacy has been bought. There's been times when there was three popes at the same time. There's
Yep.
been times where the pope was in France, moved out of Rome, due to persecution.
Right.
Um, like there's all kinds of things that have happened to the church,
Right.
but we see the great saints always urging, obedience to the papacy, obedience to your bishop, obedience to
And that's the thing.
the
Yeah.
structure, the larger structure of the church, which is like, yes, we should be obedient to our bishop and our pope,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Even Padre Pio was obedient to his bishop when he was getting like reprimanded and things like that,
Exactly. Exactly.
which is fine. Like, and it's fine to point out. I'm not saying it's not fine to like. You can tactfully disagree with your bishop and tactfully disagree with the pope, but like, you know, I don't think it does the larger Catholic world any favors when, especially as a relatively recent convert to the church,
Mhm.
right? It's like, okay, you've fallen in love with the church in whatever form you're presented with it. You fall in love with the history, you fall in love with the Eucharist, you know what I'm saying? And then you like discover that people are claiming that like you're attending a mass that is, some people will say it's explicitly invalid.
Right.
Not every traditionalist says that, obviously.
Yeah. Not every traditionalist.
But, then you're hit once you get into a little more like knowledge of the church and kind of just being in the space for a while.
Mhm.
You're hit with this like, this is not the fullness of the faith, basically. And it's like, what do you mean?
I'm going to say something controversial, but if you are only attending a TLM,
Uh-huh.
you're kind of being half Catholic. And that's I know that's not fully true. I know that's not fully true because there's nothing wrong with only attending a TLM.
Yeah, sure.
There's nothing wrong with it. You're allowed to do it. If you only attend a TLM parish, that's absolutely valid and fine. But the Norvus Ordo is Catholic tradition.
Well, and it's also valid sacraments. It's like,
Hmm.
it's the Eucharist, and it's confession, and it's like,
Exactly.
you know, and there's been regional variances of liturgy forever, and
Regional, exactly.
again, like barring explicit liturgical abuses, I don't think it's, how do I put this? It can be for a convert very off-putting to realize that half the church is like against the thing that you love
Yes,
or that brought you into the church,
exactly.
right?
Because I was baptized, not baptized, but I was confirmed and catechized in a Norvus Ordo parish.
Me as well.
Exactly.
I
And so,
was baptized, confirmed, received first Eucharist, went through OCIA.
mhm,
At my time, it was RCIA.
yeah,
Um, like in a Novus Ordo, and like I love the deacons and the priests there.
yeah,
Right? It's not like these deacons and priests are like some weird like leftist
right,
liberal Catholics,
exactly.
which like, but even if they were,
Even if they were,
even if they
exactly,
were, right? The church allows for a diversity of opinion on some things, obviously not on everything, like the core tenets of the faith.
mhm.
Um, but like maybe I haven't been to enough Novus Ordos, but I haven't seen any Novus Ordo people, priests, deacons, um, like explicitly go against the core tenets of the faith,
Yeah,
right? And so I feel like that accusation, if not explicitly stated by most traditionalists, is like implied by most
yes,
traditionalists. Um,
I feel that too.
and it's like, yes, okay, Vatican II did not lay out um, the way that Vatican II got implemented was not necessarily the way that it was written, right? So like Vatican II says Gregorian chant has prime place,
Hmm.
um, and a bunch of other things, right? So it's like there is
Like you can
some,
do ad orientem.
yeah,
You can do ad orientem, you can do Gregorian chant, you can
yeah,
do Latin prayers. You can essentially do a TLM or a
yeah,
TLM adjacent, I suppose, at a Norvus Ordo, like in a Norvus Ordo mass.
yeah,
You could definitely do that. And here's the thing, though. Here's my challenge to anybody that's angry at the Norvus Ordo.
yeah.
Are you above the Norvus Ordo? Are you above it? You can't go worship there. You know,
That's what I'm saying.
that's
I
the
think that
thing.
is the most off-putting thing. Is like,
Even if
are
they're
you holier than thou type of thing?
exactly.
It's
If there was a if the only church in your neighborhood or city or whatever was a guitar playing, light show playing Catholic mass,
maybe not a light show.
maybe not a light show. But the thing is like if it was the only one, are you above it?
No, I mean exactly, and that's what I'm saying. It's like the sacraments are the sacraments.
Yeah.
Whatever the uh, faults of the priest are,
Yeah.
or the faults of the parish, or
Exactly.
the faults of the Catholic Church at large,
Yeah.
because it's never claimed to be like a perfect institution or anything. But it's
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
as a lay person, you're called to obedience. Sure, there's like a room for you to like critique
For sure.
things that are going on.
For sure.
And popular piety leads the church, right? So it's like,
Actually, I don't even think we should be critiquing. If I'm going to be so bold, I don't even know if we. I don't think we should be even critiquing. Like,
definitely not publicly.
yeah,
You
like
know,
on Twitter and
like
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
is
Yep.
a, it's kind of a
Yeah.
problem because it's scandalous. And scandal is a real sin, and it's a serious sin. And
Hmm.
it's like if you lead people into scandal, that's a serious sin on your own soul
For
that
sure.
you should like repent of and confess and like don't do that anymore, because that's part of like confessing your sins and amending your life and doing penance.
Hmm.
So it's like you should not lead people to hate their parish.
Exactly. That's literally opposite of what you should do, and that is why, if I remember, I'm going off memory, but and that is why Francis issued Traditionis Custodes to bring people into more unity. That's why he put these restrictions on the
Yeah,
TLM.
whether or not it was like the best thing to do
Well, here's the thing. Here's the
is
thing.
kind of besides the point.
Here's the thing. A papal decree is not magic, right? There needs to be a synergistic relationship with us and the Pope. If the Pope decrees something, we need to work and obey along with it.
I'll go even further. It's like we shouldn't really, well, we shouldn't really be concerned with the Pope. Like I'm going to say, I'm
Yeah.
going to say it. We should be concerned with our bishop,
Okay.
because throughout history, that's how it is, right? So it's like very recent that we can know everything that the Pope says immediately.
That's
right?
true.
Usually, in the broader sense of Catholic history, it's like you have your bishop,
Hmm.
and that's really who you
You listen
go
to.
to.
Yeah.
If you have a concern, you go to the bishop.
Yeah.
So, like, sure, if your bishop is doing weird stuff, you should have like a private meeting with him, or request a private meeting and say, like, look, I'm like a parishioner in your diocese.
Yeah.
Here are my concerns.
I'll go even further. You shouldn't even be concerned with your bishop. You should be concerned with your priest. Like, here's my challenge, right? To the traditionalists who are angry about the Norvus Ordo. Start attending a Norvus Ordo. Start attending regularly, daily mass. Go to it. Become friends with your priest, with the parish priest. Volunteer and start advocating. Be like, hey, can we do the Agnus Dei in Latin?
Or can we get an altar rail?
Or I'll fund an altar rail. You're mad about it? Fund a seminarian.
Yeah, and it's like, I know some, well, I've heard tale of some like priests that like refuse to give Eucharist on the tongue, but I've never seen it.
Mhm.
I've never seen somebody refuse. Like even the Novus Ordo that
I've heard that too. Yeah.
that we got like inducted into, people, you know, kneel without the altar rail
Mhm.
and receive on the tongue,
Yeah.
just like in line,
Mhm.
and it's like okay, so it's like, you know, no, man, I just don't. Maybe I haven't been to enough parishes, or maybe our bishop is just good, or our priests are just good, or whatever.
Yeah, we're
But
kind
I've
of
never
blessed.
seen
Yeah.
like I know like Kentucky, is it? Or whatever.
North Carolina, I think
North Carolina or
yeah,
something just
where they just did away with all the TLM
mhm,
parishes. They
mhm.
just overnight basically. And the reason why is because the bishop saw the TLM
Mhm.
parishioners having contempt for people who attend the Norvus Ordo.
Yeah,
And so
and
he was like, gone.
yeah, I mean, and
Sorry.
fair enough. Like, if you are causing schism and leading the flock away from God,
Yep.
like that's a bad deal.
Yeah.
It's a bad deal.
What it is like, again, like I come from a broken family and I see that in the church right now.
Yeah.
It's like this side thinks they're right and this side thinks they're right. And the traditionalists or even the Norvus Ordo people are like they're over here and they're like you need to come over here fully. You need to like submit to my side and this is the right side and there's no like reaching out and
No.
and going to the other side and humbling yourself
Which is my
and
problem with it as well. It's like if you're a traditionalist and you are very convicted of your point of view,
Mhm,
don't here's my little 2 cents, I guess.
sure.
And sure, I haven't been Catholic that long. Sure, whatever. But like as a new Catholic, right? It's like don't condemn your brothers and sisters in the faith,
Right.
right? If you want to do something that has like substance, then like organize a Latin rosary or organize
Exactly.
like try to get a procession in your
Exactly.
parish.
Yeah.
Try to open it up in a way that's ecumenical. I know people fear that word nowadays, but it's like, what else are you gonna do? Are you just gonna get up on your soapbox and yell about how people are worshiping incorrectly?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, fair enough if there's actual liturgical abuses going on, but like, you go to. Here's what I'm saying: a lot of the people that I've seen in my time, just being in the Catholic space, forget that there are people in the parish. Like,
Hmm.
you
Real
go to a
people.
Novus Ordo,
Real people.
they're faithful.
Yeah.
Sure. Some of them wear jeans to mass. Some of them wear, you know, not necessarily church clothes to mass. Um, sure, there's some irreverence in a Novus Ordo. There's some irreverence in a Latin mass,
Hmm.
depending on like the parish. Fine, whatever. Latin mass parishes aren't like perfect,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, you know, you cannot forget that the people of the parish exist and that they're
Exactly.
faithful
Yeah.
and there are people in the Novus Ordo parishes that attend daily mass.
And this look, and this is like I'll just say it like you might be thinking what it gives you the authority to talk about this. Well, the thing is like I started off at a Norvus Ordo. I went to a traditional Latin mass, and then recently I've been going back to the Norvus Ordo. And my first Sunday back at the Norvus Ordo, I was groaning. I was like annoyed. I was the whole time I couldn't really focus because I was like, oh my God, Lord help me, please, like humble my heart. This is
That's a bad fruit.
and that's a bad fruit. And I'm just like, oh man, this is this boomer music. I hate it. Oh, I hate everything about this. Oh my gosh, are we seriously singing the Gloria? Like this whole time I'm just sitting there and I'm judging and I'm judging and I'm judging. And I
Yeah,
left and I'm like, what is wrong with me?
exactly.
It's like if I grew up in a poor neighborhood, went and lived in a rich neighborhood, and then went back to the poor neighborhood and was like, "What's wrong with y'all? Y'all are just y'all don't know what y'all are doing," and I'm just judging everybody.
Exactly, exactly.
It's terrible fruit, and so you might be thinking like, "What gives you the authority to talk about this?" Well, I was the prideful person
Hmm.
that we are talking about.
Hmm.
I was the radical traditionalist. I was that person.
Hmm.
And this is look, I feel like the Holy Spirit is convicting me. And I think I really if you are angry, I think you need to go to a Novus Ordo parish.
First of all, if you're angry, you need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, if you're angry at other Catholics for going to mass, that's probably an issue.
Yeah, just because they're worshiping wrong
Yeah,
or
and
yeah.
it's like, it's the same thing if we get like annoyed at babies crying or like whatever, like the grandma praying a rosary all loud or whatever.
Yep.
It's like it's like have some humility a little bit.
Have some humility. That's
And
exactly right. Yeah.
and you know, sure. They're like the Latin Mass traditionalists, they have fair points.
Fair. I do, and I agree with a lot of them. Yeah.
But like you said, there's a lot of bad fruit in this.
Here's the thing.
And what I don't see
Mhm.
a lot of the time,
Mhm.
people who aren't bishops or who haven't been like part of the post-conciliar process and everything, like I don't see Novus Ordo people feeling the same way about Latin Mass people.
I haven't seen a lot of it either. Yeah.
I don't think they even talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they
Yeah.
even care.
Yeah.
Which is like, if only we could all be so like
Humble.
humble
Yeah.
about like, sure, like, and this, this is a very American thing.
It is.
It's a very American thing.
From
Like
what I've seen,
no
it is,
poor
yeah.
churches in Africa are like condemning each other for doing the Novus Ordo.
Yeah.
No poor church with no roof in the middle of Kenya is like,
This is a very privileged thing to be upset about, I think.
yeah,
Because you know what the people in Africa are worried about? Radical Islamists who are murdering them
Yeah.
in their homes. That's what they're worried about.
yeah, and it's like you're not holier than some African.
You're not
parishioners.
exactly. You're not holier
Far.
than who are most likely doing the Norvus Ordo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like,
that's like far and away. Like no, the persecuted Christians are. We should be talking more about that as a church.
yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, it's like I get that it can. I understand it, but it's just like I don't think it's that big of a deal. And a lot of people will be like, "Oh well, we're erasing tradition," and it's like, are we?
Are
It's
we?
like the Roman missal
Mhm.
is the parts of the missal are still there. The missal has been
Yeah.
adjusted before, and sure, it was a long time since the missal was adjusted. But like, if you go back to Pope Gregory, okay, who instituted the Roman Rite,
Mhm.
right? He did a lot of stuff that like was unprecedented, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, he took Latin, which was the actual vernacular of the time. He elevated it a little bit. For people who don't know, there's two forms of Latin. Okay, there's what's called classical Latin, which is what like Cicero and the poets and everything wrote in, and then there's vulgar Latin, which is like spoken Latin, and the liturgical Latin is like a midway between these two things. Okay, but like it's an elevated vernacular. Okay,
Are you telling me that Latin is the vernacular?
it was
Or
when it was
was?
instituted. Yeah, it was, and what he did was impose the Roman Rite upon basically the entire church to unify it, under one thing.
What's that sound like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And um sure, like it's elevated above the vernacular. It's not classical Latin. It's not unobtainable for people who spoke Latin to understand.
Yeah.
Right? It is a little more ritualistic. There are unique properties about liturgical Latin. I studied Latin.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a while. Where's it at?
It's right behind you. Wheelock's Latin.
Well, yeah, I have Wheelock's Latin, but I have my NLE thing, like the National Latin Exam Award that I got.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyway, that's besides the point. Okay, and when Gregory instituted this, there's this rule that he had, right, that if your form of liturgy went back 200 years, like you could keep it without adopting the Roman Rite.
Yeah.
But he made Gregorian chant. Pope Gregory, Gregorian. That was a new thing.
Right.
Okay, the organ came in after that. Like the organ was like the height of technology at the time.
Mhm.
That got instituted into the liturgy, and so it's like the liturgy has always like evolved, right? Like there was a long period of time where like the Trinitarian Mass, which is the Mass that the Roman Rite that Gregory instituted,
You mean the Tridentine?
Trinitine, yeah,
Yeah.
was like, yes, that was the standard for like a long time, for like centuries.
Yes.
Okay. Um, and like there is something to be said about like cherishing that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But like it's also like it was a pretty sweeping, large change to how the liturgy was done overall.
Okay.
Like yes, the Roman Rite had been, developed in Rome for a while, but Gregory did a lot of stuff that was new.
Mhm.
Okay. And yeah, I mean it's just like I understand the traditional urge to like go back, and I agree with it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like I do believe the Latin Mass is beautiful.
Yeah,
The-
we
the,
should definitely preserve it.
the Trinitine form is beautiful.
Absolutely.
All the accoutrement Okay, like the incense, the
Yes.
paten.
And
If
it's
there's one thing that I think should be standard, it is the paten and the receiving, kneeling, and that stuff.
Mhm.
But even that is like not necessarily like from the beginning of the church, right?
Yeah.
Like that is something that was developed in popular piety over time, right? I mean, I'm sure you've heard that like in the ancient church, it was commonplace to receive in the hand and stuff like
I've
that.
heard that, yeah.
And whether or not people disagree with that is like besides the point. It's like the church develops in popular piety. And I can already see like people are going to say, well, Vatican II imposed this entire new system
Mhm.
of doing liturgy
Mhm. Didn't Gregory as
same
well?
way that
Yeah,
Gregory did.
exactly. Yeah.
So it's like,
This is
it's
the way that the church does things.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a one to one. It's pretty close. And it's like, okay, here's the problem that was happening in like the pre-conciliar church. It's like we said, our initial experience of the Latin Mass was kind of unintelligible.
Mhm.
Okay, people that the Vatican II language is active participation,
Mhm.
so that means they were trying to fix inactive participation.
Yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of the times the Latin Mass was rushed through. There's liturgical abuses that were happening with the Latin Mass. Um,
Yeah.
people were not really people were there. A
And
lot of people.
are people really expecting, sorry to cut you off, but people expecting a perfect liturgy? Doesn't exist.
That's what I'm saying, and a lot of the times that's what it feels like. It's like, yes, we should hold the liturgy in very, very high esteem. Obviously, it's like the heart of the church.
Mhm.
Okay, but we shouldn't like condemn each other unless there's actual heresy going on,
Sure.
which sometimes there is,
Sure.
but like the majority of the time,
Most of the majority of the time.
there's not explicit abuses going on. And like you got to think about a parish priest and the things that they have to deal with
Yeah.
and the struggles that it takes to be a priest.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like people, I've heard this like option to fix the new mass is like, oh, maybe the parish priest can do a Norvus Ordo and a traditional Latin mass in the same parish. The parish that I go to, the Norvus Ordo parish that I go to, it's you could consider it a pretty big parish.
Yeah, no, it's pretty big.
And there's only one priest.
One.
One priest.
One guy.
You're
And
gonna work, and he's like 70 years old.
And not only that, he is traveling to other parishes and
To go help out other,
and
yeah,
training their priests.
exactly.
Like a Vietnamese parish. Like,
Y-
what do you say about a Vietnamese parish? Should they do the Latin Mass?
Right? Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Like, maybe there's an argument that they should because Latin's like a universal language. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
unifying language. Yeah, yeah.
It's also like the Vietnamese people have their own uh, history that goes along with Catholicism and the presence of Catholicism in Vietnam.
I think. Look, I understand the disagreements with the Norvus Ordo or Traditionis Custodes or Vatican II. I understand and I agree with a lot of them. But again, like I said before, just to rehash this point, a papal decree is not magic. Just because Francis decrees Traditionis Custodes and for the sake of unity, that doesn't automatically unify everybody. We
Yeah.
have to obey. You want to, I've heard a lot of these criticisms of the new mass is broken. Here's how it needs to be fixed. You know how to fix it? Start attending. Start attending. Start attending. Go to an Novus Ordo. Advocate for more traditional. Start teaching your kids the Paternoster in Latin.
Or become a priest.
Or become a priest or fund a priest. Don't just get on your soapbox and start tweeting and start,
Especially if, like, again, you're like causing scandal.
yeah.
It's very dangerous, dude. It's very dangerous. Like,
I just see.
I predict we are going to see more like sedevacantist leanings
Yeah.
than we even do right now. And I feel
Maybe.
like there's a good amount of it right now.
Yeah.
Um,
I just see a lot of people being like, Vatican, do everything for me, fix everything for me. Leo needs to do away with Traditionis Custodes completely. Are you not the church too? Are
Yeah.
you also not a part of the mystical body of Christ?
Yeah,
Are you not?
that's what I'm saying.
Are you just going to be like, "Oh, do everything for me, please, Vatican. Please just do everything." Like, no, dude.
Yeah.
Go to the Novus Ordo.
And again, like, you attend the Latin Mass.
Yeah.
It's not like we're preaching from it. I don't even attend a Novus Ordo anymore. I
Mhm.
attend an Anglican ordinariate.
Yeah.
Which is a Tridentine Mass. It's done in High English, Middle English. Um, it's beautiful. I think there's a lot to be talked about with the Anglican ordinariate. I think it's a good, I think it's like a good, I almost think it's a good solution to this whole thing because it's vernacular, sure, but it's High English. There's words that you don't understand in there. Uh, it's beautiful. Um, we have an altar screen.
Yeah, it's like the TLM in English. Is
Yeah,
what I've heard it
and
be
people will be
described
like,
as.
"You can't do the TLM in English." It's like, dude, it's like, yes, okay, Latin is a sacred language. I don't think that is like necessarily dogmatically defined or anything. We get the sacred language, I believe, and again, I haven't done like prep research on this for this episode, but it's because it was on the crucifix, right? So it's Greek, Aramaic, and Latin,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Jesus' name was written in those languages, and sure, but it's like it's not the end all be all of what makes the liturgy a liturgy. And I think a lot of traditionalists will agree with that. And it's like, okay, I get the understanding you want the most reverent, highest mass that you can achieve.
Which is good.
And that is good.
Which is a good desire.
But it's also like the church is poor in a lot of places.
Mhm.
Like and you should embrace the poorness of the church.
Mhm.
Right? So it's like, you know, if you can't go to a Latin mass, you need to be as reverent in a Novus Ordo as you would be in a Latin mass,
Mhm.
right? You need to understand, not to be preachy, I guess, but like you got to recognize the validity of the sacraments, no matter what the songs are playing. And sure, like
Yeah, yeah. And
sure, like it's more advantageous to have beautiful music, to have Gregorian chant.
just on this point, real quick, the biggest critique that I've heard of the Norvus Ordo
Mhm.
is the music is bad. That's like the main critique I hear.
Yeah.
Is like, I don't like the music. I don't like the music.
Yeah, and it's
Do you
like,
like doing
okay,
guitars?
that doesn't give you the perfect disposition to enter a mystical space. But it's like,
I feel like it's a problem with you.
yeah,
I feel like it's a problem with you.
yeah,
And even if it's not, maybe if I'm wrong on that, if I'm wrong on that, somebody please call me out because I want to be corrected and I want to be, make sure that I'm not, speaking out of turn or whatever. So if I'm wrong on that, please correct me. Even if I am wrong, start advocating for more traditional stuff.
yeah, like at the Novus Ordo parish is what
Yes.
you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Infiltrate with love.
yeah. I mean, you're not gonna win anybody over by yelling at them. Like I said, bro, like I agree with a lot of what the traditionalists say, but I very much disagree with how they go about advocating for it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, guys,
Because like,
your opinion doesn't matter.
no,
Yeah.
straight up, like,
Yeah.
no, popular piety is going to win out because that's the way that the church develops,
Mhm.
right? So it's like, you don't want to look. The church is not a political space,
Right.
and you don't want to look at the church like a political space.
Right.
Like you don't want to look at the Pope and be like, "Oh, this is not the guy that I wanted as Pope." It's like, shut up.
Shut up, dude. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
You think you know better than the Holy Spirit?
Right. I think there
Do
was
you
a
think you like? Do you think you know better than the Holy Spirit?
yeah.
Because if you believe the teaching of the church, then the Holy Spirit is who selects the Pope.
I think that's not church teaching. I think
It's at least popular piety. Like the papacy is guided by the Holy Spirit. So even if it's not necessarily dogmatically defined that the Holy Spirit picks the Pope or whatever, like the Holy Spirit is on the Pope and he has the power of Peter, and Peter is with him. And it's like,
and even still, like, sorry to cut you off, but I think there was a. I'm going off of memory, and I'm sorry I'm forgetting the name, but there was a saint who said, even if the Pope was a devil incarnate, should still obey him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because he has the keys to bind and loose, and
exactly.
it's like the church is going to be protected by God.
And are you above that?
No.
And here's the thing, guys, and this is why
And some people will say like the Holy Spirit is inspiring this movement of traditionalism, which is like sure, whatever, fine,
maybe it
I
is.
guess.
Yeah,
But like you still have to, you know, there is like a point where you should be a militant church, right?
yeah.
But not like I don't know.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Going from Protestant to Catholic, what I loved, what was a big selling point for me, I guess, to come to the church was the fact that the church is unified and unified under the Pope. Which is why I didn't go to Orthodox, because we're unified under the Pope. But we're split. We're at each other's throats. We're divided. We're divided over this one issue, and I think I can't speak for everybody, but for me at least, I try to put myself back in history, like when we had the Borgia popes,
Mm-hmm.
when the papacy was bought. Like, would I still remain Catholic? And I would like to think that I would, still remain Catholic and remain obedient and remain humble. But here we go, guys. Here's our test. You criticize the Protestants for not being unified,
Yeah.
for not having like a visible authority, and for not being uh what's the word, obedient to the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
You criticize the Protestants for that and the Orthodox. Well, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Here's our test. Here's our test. Okay, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna be obedient, or are you gonna, I don't know, post on Twitter
Yeah.
about how you're angry at Francis and Leo and all this?
Yeah.
This is like, what are you gonna do? What are you
Mm-hmm.
gonna do? You gonna put your disagreements to the side? You're gonna put your I don't know, gripes to the side, which are valid, I suppose, and you can feel them. But are you gonna put them to the side and humble yourself? Are you?
Yeah.
Are you
Like
gonna be
if
obedient?
your bishop says no, that's kind of like it.
Yeah. And what are you gonna do then? What are you gonna do? Are
Yeah.
you gonna be Catholic,
Yeah. You're gonna schism.
or are you gonna schism?
Like
And that's
just
it. Yeah.
how important are the sacraments to you?
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like don't don't schism.
Yeah, don't schism, don't criticize, just go.
Don't schism because of some political leaning. Like the church is not right or left. Okay. And I feel like this has a big part to play in it. Okay. It's a mostly American issue.
Mhm.
Like it's okay, this pope is not conservative enough. Is this pope going to conserve the way that I want him to? Whatever. That's like kind of above your pay grade
Yeah.
almost. It's like sure, like you can have those concerns, and that's fair. But at the end of the day, that's that's the vicar of Christ
Mhm.
there. That is Peter there.
Yeah.
And like Peter was broken. Almost there wasn't ever a perfect pope.
No, and you'll never find one.
Okay, and I'm sure like people in Gregory's time were like, there were some people who were mad at him or
For
whatever.
sure.
It's like, but yeah, there's just like there's not a lot of charity from what I've seen coming from the side of the traditionalists.
There's no
There's
charity,
not a
there's no
lot of
humility.
reaching over. It's not a lot of saying, hey, like this is I want to bring you into this thing that I've found that is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, um, I mean, some traditionalists do that, sure, but like the loudest ones are like pretty disingenuous, I believe.
Mhm.
And you know, not to attack them personally
Yeah, we're not trying to attack
or
anybody.
condemn them
Yeah.
personally, but it's
Yeah.
like you, there's a lack of humility a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I believe
And a lack of action. Like I said
a
before,
lack of action
like
too.
are you just gonna just be like, "Oh, Leo, fix it for me," or are you gonna be the church?
Yeah,
Are you gonna be the church?
and it's like starting Latin mass parishes is one thing, but like you said, you should attend a Novus Ordo
Yeah, that would be the ultimate act of humility.
and,
And if you
not saying you should like go in there like some secret spy and try to like change everybody's mind, but
Yeah.
like go in there and show reverence.
Yeah, are
That
you
does a
above that worship?
that does a
Yeah.
lot more. Like to me, when I first saw at a Novus Ordo, we line up, we get the Eucharist right in the line. There's no altar or everything.
Mhm.
But when I first saw somebody like fully kneel, it's almost even more humble to do that when nobody else is doing it, right? So when I first saw somebody kneel and receive on the tongue, I was like, what is that about?
Mhm.
And that did more to lead me in to knowing about uh, the traditional way of doing the mass than like reading some Twitter thing,
Yeah.
right? So like,
Yeah.
if you go to a Novus Ordo and you show reverence, and first of all, it's like the Novus Ordo has reverent priests.
Yeah.
Like, there's reverent priests in the Novus Ordo. There are people who treat the Eucharist like it is, like the most important thing in the world at Novus Ordo. Okay, and it's like, sure, some priests are a little flippant with it. There are some Latin
Sure.
Mass priests that are flippant with it.
Sure.
Sure, it's probably like less likely that a Latin Mass priest is like that, but it's also like,
Highly less likely, but yeah, sure.
but it's
Yeah.
like, it's not like every single Novus Ordo is terrible.
Exactly. And look, if you still want to attend the traditional Latin Mass, you still can. Maybe like go to a TLM every first Sunday, and then after that, attend daily Mass at a Norvus Ordo. But go to a TLM every first Sunday so that you can still keep that if you want. Because there's nothing wrong with attending both. You know,
No.
you can still keep the tradition alive because the tradition lives in you because you are the church, right? You are the one who can advocate for change. You not Leo. I mean, yes, he's the one who can bind it on earth and in heaven, but it starts with you. It starts with humble acts. And if you kind of cringe at the idea of attending a Norvus Ordo, why? Why?
Why?
Why? Why? That should say something.
Yeah,
That should say something.
you should never feel that way about your brothers and sisters in
And
Christ.
even if you do, that is even more reason why you should attend a
take
Novus
it on
Ordo.
as a penance, I guess, if you think attending a liturgy is penance. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And look, and this is the thing, right? This is why I wanted to do this episode today because one, I have never heard this take ever from anyone. It's always like, this is how we fix the Novus Ordo. Oh, the Novus Ordo is broken.
yeah, it's a lot of
It's
magisterial talk. Like, this is what the magisterium should do. These
Yeah.
are the documents that we should fix. Or
yeah.
whatever.
But what about you? What about you?
Yeah,
What about you?
If the church is driven by popular piety, first of all, it's like we will eventually get back there because most young Catholics are at least attending a Trinitine mass.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like eventually it'll happen. A lot of people are like, but the bishops will never let it happen. It's like, well, the bishops now are going to be gone at some point.
At some point, yeah, you're worried about it. Become a priest because those priests become.
Like if that's truly like what you feel called to, become a priest.
And I know that's a big ask. Not everybody can become a. I would become a priest if I wasn't about to get married. Like honestly, I really would.
Or become a deacon.
Or become a deacon, or fund a priest.
Yeah,
Sponsor a priest.
Find a seminary that you agree with or whatever.
Yeah, and because those priests become bishops, those bishops become cardinals, and those cardinals become popes. And that's the way it works. You want to see real change, you need to start with yourself. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The problem is not Francis, the problem is not the TLM. The problem is you. Not I mean it is. I'm not gonna make
Some
any
of
bones.
you.
Some of you. I'm not gonna make any bones about it, but like that I actually do feel this way. But the problem is you. Start with yourself. Have some humility. Go to a Norvus Ordo. Infiltrate with love. Love your brothers and sisters. This is the solution, I feel like. I can't I'm wary to say like, oh, I have all the answers. I've been Catholic 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, like this is probably
I mean, you kind of have a unique experience of converting and then like kind of realizing your own radicalization, if we can call it that, and
Sure.
then being like, "Oh, this is not good."
Yeah, this is not good. This has bad fruit. This has bad fruit.
It does
And
have bad fruit,
yeah,
and like a tree by its fruit.
exactly.
So it's like
Yeah.
it does have bad fruit. Sure, it has good fruit as well. Like, okay, there's more families attending. There's younger families attending, but it's like, okay, there's a lot of young families at the Novus Ordo parish that we got baptized at.
Hmm.
A lot of them are old.
Hmm.
There's a lot of old people.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's also a lot of young people. Like
A lot of
when I
boomers.
went
Yeah.
through RCIA, it was like 21 people, and then when you went, it was like more than that.
Yeah. It was a lot of people.
So it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. You
there.
think? Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, dude. Sure. Like the yes, I'm not saying that TLM has no advantages or whatever, but
Yeah.
like even the fact that we're talking about the advantages, I think, is missing the point.
Hmm.
It's like go to mass,
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Oh, exactly. Go to
go to
Matt. Yeah.
mass,
Yeah. Exactly.
whatever mass you have.
And I understand that TLM parishioners kind of have more of a serious faith. I understand that, but bring that to the Norvus Ordo parishes. What I see, you remember that story? I think it's in Matthew where the Pharisee is like, "I thank you that I'm not like the tax collector." He's like
Yeah,
praying. He's like, "I thank you that I'm not like the tax collector because he's a this, and that." That is
pretty spot on.
that is what that's what I at least the vibe, vibes. That's the vibe I get
Hmm.
from the discourse that I see online. Like the Norvus Ordo, they don't take it serious. They don't have a serious faith
Yeah,
like
and
I
like
do. Yeah.
I mean, you like it is just kind of bad to sweepingly condemn an entire parish like that.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not what we're doing with the Latin Mass parishes because yeah,
No, but
they're good. They're fine. Like they're faithful. Love it. They want to have a traditional family. I love it.
yeah.
You know,
I think
I'm going to say something a little controversial
absolutely.
here. Okay. A, a lot of people who enter the TLM, in my experience, have a political conversion to the right before they have a conversion to Christianity, and they carry their political conversion into the church.
Okay.
It's not, sure, this is not everybody, but this is what I've seen. It's like, okay, they see what's happening in America. They have the right response
Yep.
of pulling away from liberalism and leftism and all that stuff, wanting a traditional family, a traditional America, you know, traditional Americana. And then, by the grace of God, they're led to the Catholic Church, which is like I think, partly in reason because it's an apostolic church that has the tradition. And then when they get there, they go as far to the right in the church as they can.
Yeah.
And it's, yes, there is legitimate, like a legitimate spiritual want
Hmm.
for tradition.
Hmm.
But I almost feel like a lot of it is politically motivated.
It's like Catholic conservatism.
Yeah. Which is, maybe not the best thing to base your.
Yeah, you should leave that at the door.
Yeah.
You should leave that at the door.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like when you enter a church, you're Catholic.
Yeah, you're
You're
Catholic.
not a
Yeah,
conservative.
we transcend this left
And to
right
be fair, like,
paradigm.
just to let you know, I am very conservative.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very conservative. You almost have to be a Catholic in the first place. But it's like, and sure, like, liberal Catholics are more apt to play fast and loose with the teachings of the church.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
I agree.
But it's like you bring your political radicalism into the church and become a radical traditionalist,
Hmm.
which can be dangerous for the people around you
Yeah.
and for you. And because if you end up condemning the church at large, that's a problem, right? And if you end up holding contempt for the church at large, that's also a big problem. And if you start scandalizing people around you, that's like a big problem. And if you start believing that the Pope is not the Pope, it's like a
Yeah,
super big problem.
yeah.
And if your whole thing is based off of like, no, this is the pinnacle of conservatism,
hmm
and the Pope needs to be as conservative as possible, and then when he's not, you like condemn it. It's like that's not good.
Yeah, it's like you're bringing your Americanism, you're bringing your conservatism and your political views into your faith, and you
Yeah, and I
should
think
leave that at the door.
and I think that's kind of what Francis and Leo were afraid of.
hmm
I think that's what, like you said, Traditionis Custodes is like. There's a splintering happening, and whether or not it was the most prudent thing to do or whatever, like that was his reaction to the splintering that was happening.
Yeah.
And it's like we need to unify the church
Yeah,
instead of like
yeah, exactly. And a papal decree is not magic.
mhm.
Unification starts with the humbling of your own heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah, dude. It's very dangerous in my mind.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous to the church at large
hmm
to be like politically motivated, for lack of a better term.
hmm
Like, of course, I've said this 1,000 times. I understand the want to go back to the traditional Trinitine Mass. I understand it. I understand there was liturgical abuses in the implementation of Vatican II. I understand that people don't like it. I understand that people don't like the music. Okay,
Yeah.
but like even in the last 20 years, like the Novus Ordos have gotten better. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like I've never seen a guitar played at a
Me neither.
Novus Ordo.
Me neither.
I've never seen like yeah, I've never seen light shows at a Novus Ordo.
Yeah, me neither.
The one gripe I do have is there's way too many Eucharistic ministers,
I hate that. I hate it.
and
I
I
hate
hate
it.
it. It's like you can
Yeah.
take the time to just have the deacons do it.
Yeah, I hate the Eucharistic ministers, but it's like, who cares what I think?
Exactly.
Yeah. Who
Exactly.
cares what I think? I'm just going to humble myself and
Yeah.
receive from the Eucharistic ministers
Yeah.
because that's what it is. That's what I got.
Yeah.
That's even
And sure, you could have something better,
if you
and like there is room to like advocate for that.
yeah again like we probably wouldn't have Eucharistic ministers if there were more priests.
Yeah.
More priests to
Yeah, there's a
distribute.
big priest problem
Yeah.
that we should almost should take precedent over this whole thing. And yes, there's a lot of seminarians right now that are being trained in the Latin Mass, and there's more traditional seminarians,
Mhm.
and that's a good thing.
Yep.
Okay, I believe that will bear out like in the future of the church.
Yeah.
But we cannot be causing scandal and condemning each other. And like, I hope it doesn't sound like I'm condemning the Latin Mass people, because again, they have fair points.
Yeah, and I agree with a lot of them. And I
Yeah.
love the Latin Mass. I love the use of the
Yeah,
organ.
I mean, you
like
attend the Latin Mass.
I
It's not like
yeah
you're preaching from a Novus Ordo parish and you're like, this is the best thing in the world.
yeah
I attend Anglican Ordinariate,
yeah, which
Okay.
is super reverent.
which is super reverent.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, like, in my opinion, it's like, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot better because of a couple of reasons. But it's like,
It's not Roman.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not why it's a lot better, in my opinion. It's because it's almost outside of the whole thing.
Mm.
So, like, no one's concerned, really. Like, everybody's there because it's beautiful and it's reverent, but it's not. It's almost like not picking a side. It's almost like this is the most reverent mass I have around me. I'm gonna go to that one,
Yeah.
and if that's what I desire, then like fair enough. But nobody's in there like condemning a Novus Ordo or like advocating for more Latin. Like there's Latin in the mass. Um, it's a high language. Again, it's Middle English. So
I love that.
these and thys, the quick and the dead. It's meet and right to do so. What does that mean? What is it's meet and right to? You don't know.
You
don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So it's like there is this mystical error about the language they use. They have a beautiful chant guy
hmm
and multiple of them.
Yeah.
And they also, there's like an entire high school connected to this parish that I go to. It's a classical school.
Yeah.
Um, what was the what did we just celebrate?
All Saints Day.
Yeah, but it wasn't for All Saints Day. It was before that. Anyway, for a mass. Oh, it was the patron feast. The patron feast. I just gotta say, it's Our Lady of Walsingham. It's great. It's great. It's like the best parish I've ever been to. But for their patron feast, they brought in like their children's choir.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a traditionally structured building. So like
It's like a cathedral.
yeah, no, it's a cathedral.
Yeah.
It is a cathedral. The the choir sits up behind you. There's a huge organ up there. Um, there's obviously some like unique Anglican things. Anglican. They're not Anglican. They're Catholic. I promise.
Anglican Ordinariate, that's the
The Anglican Ordinariate is, yeah, it is the reunificate, which I think is a very good. So
it's like a middle ground, right?
Pope
It's like
Benedict, I believe, did it.
16th.
Yeah, 2012. He started this thing because of all the stuff that was happening in Anglicanism. Traditional priests were leaving, and they were like, okay, like obvious Anglicanism is not the way, right? So what he did was he got together with the Anglican priests that wanted to convert and the Vatican, and they pieced through their liturgy to find the things that were uh, Catholic, and then used them, and then filled in the rest with Catholic stuff. Basically, that's a very ham fist way of explaining what happened. But it started in 2012.
Hmm.
Okay, and this parish is huge now. All right, and it is unconcerned with the liturgy wars. It is the patrimony of England, which should have been the American way of being Catholic.
because
I firmly believe this.
the English came to America
Yes.
and founded.
Yes,
That's interesting.
if the Reformation never happened, this is how Catholics would worship in America.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so it's almost like a lost tradition brought back to life.
Mm.
Okay, and it is the best liturgy I've ever been to. Okay, um, and it's like it feels to me growing up. Obviously, I have a lot of books. Okay, I read a lot of great literature growing up. You know, Shakespeare, all of the great English poets. Okay, and some were Anglican, and most of our great saints from England were Anglican, right? G.K. Chesterton, Anglican. He's like
He's your
my
guy.
biggest guy,
He's your guy.
right? And so he was formed in the Anglican liturgy before he realized the truth of it, which
Ooh,
is
that's cool.
that the Catholic Church is the one true church.
Yeah.
But it's like this is way more. It's way easier to identify with than the Latin Mass, and some people will be like, "Whatever." It's like that's not what it's for. Whatever.
I understand. Yeah,
Sure,
I understand.
sure, but it is. It is.
Keep going. I'm gonna check on the feed.
It is. It's just beautiful. It's what I believe like the church is missing. Um, it's extremely reverent. Okay, and
Yeah.
maybe I'm experiencing the best of the best because it is the cathedral of the entire ordinaria.
Yeah.
Which is just very convenient that I live like 20 minutes away from it.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's Trinitine. The language is a high language.
Hmm.
The high solemn mass is like an hour and a half or 2 hours or something. It's nothing but Gregorian chant. Everything is chanted. Okay. There's an altar screen. There's an altar rail. Uh, there's only deacons. Like there's no Eucharistic ministers. Um, yeah, like I could go on and on about it, but
Right.
it's like you cannot convince me that just switching the language to Latin is going to make that more affectatious or advantageous for the people that attend that mass
Hmm.
because That like you just can't convince me of that.
Yeah, because some people just, I guess I don't know how else to put it. Some people are just not smart. Some people are just like, they just don't really understand the transcendence of Latin and like I understand that Latin is a sacred language. Some people are not going to understand that. Some people are not well learned. Some people are not.
Yeah, and what do you do with the poor of the church?
Exactly. What do you do with people who
And
are
it's like,
just
sure, you could educate them, and sure, it's like not meant to be fully understood or whatever. But it's like, if you want people to convert, they have to understand what's going on first.
yeah. And people are there's a mass conversion kind of in spite of
Yeah,
the TLM.
yeah,
Yeah.
And the big revival of young people going to church happened under Francis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I
Yeah, yeah.
converted under Francis.
Me too.
At a Novus Ordo.
Yep. What's that
Um,
say?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. But I'm going to be a champion for the Anglican Ordinariate because I believe it is outside of this nonsense, which I do believe it's nonsense. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a family gripe.
and some people will ask, well, why do you like that mass more?
Mhm.
Right? And that's a fair point. I like it more because I like it more. And
Mhm.
I'm not condemning people who don't like it.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the thing.
Yeah,
As
exactly.
well, it's like if you
Yeah.
like your Novus Ordo, I believe you because I also have a parish of a Novus Ordo parish that I like
Yeah.
and that I think is reverent, and I agree. And I think reverence is probably the key. Like, obviously, if you have a reverent priest,
But reverence starts with you, I
yeah,
feel like. Yeah.
like, yeah, like we have to understand that the priests are people, and if they like, if the entire parish is like they do have a duty to be more reverent than that, but it's like it's not going to not affect them.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, like you should go to a Novus Ordo and like live or teach by your example of reverence. Sure, but it's just like you can't be condemning people for going to the Novus Ordo.
Yeah, you can't be exactly.
And I'm sure,
Yeah.
whatever. A lot of traditionalists don't explicitly condemn, but they do explicitly condemn the Novus Ordo itself. A lot of the time,
And
they're not
yeah.
saying it's not valid sacraments or anything, but they're saying it's like a lesser form of worship, which is wrong.
Right.
It's not a
It-
lesser form of worship.
yeah.
It is the liturgy of the church still.
And you are not above it.
No,
And you're not above it.
no.
And so that's where we go from here, guys. Like just kind of ended with some actionable steps. Like if you're a traditionalist who is upset about the Norvus Ordo, attend, infiltrate with love, advocate for more reverence and tradition.
And don't prescribe motives to people.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah, to anybody. Exactly.
Because you don't know. Like, unless they explicitly tell you, you don't know.
Which is sinful, which is the sin of presumption. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's going a lot, happened a lot with Francis.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean,
no one, not a lot of traditionalists were giving Francis the benefit of the doubt. They assumed his intentions were ill.
and I think like any issue that you come up with your wife or your kids or a friend or a coworker or whatever, the perfect place to start is to think to yourself, am I the problem? What can I do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So fund a seminarian, pay for new vestments, pay for a new crucifix,
Or fundraise. Like, if you don't have personal,
start a Latin class at your Norvus Ordo parish. Do something, right? Don't just sit there and complain and be mad, because that's going to damage you. That's going to damage the church, and that's just going to push people away, and we're just going to drift farther and farther and farther. If you want to still attend the Latin Mass, still do that. Maybe every first Sunday or something like that. I don't know. You figure it out, but
do not scandalize.
exactly.
Like, whatever you're going to say about our inexperience, do not scandalize by your words.
Yeah. And please leave a comment, like, subscribe, let us know what you think. Let us know if we're wrong.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you.
I'm sure eventually we will do another episode that is
Kind of
I have, we have like kind of facts to go over and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, exactly. And
But
we're just kind of speaking from our heart, real raw conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe to the New Covenant podcast. follow us on Instagram at thenew.covenant. Follow us on Substack. What is our Substack?
thenewcovenant.substack.com.
thenewcovenant.substack.com. YouTube, The New Covenant Pod. Like, comment, subscribe.
We're on Spotify as well.
And we're on Spotify.
And Apple Podcasts.
The New Covenant Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Have a blessed day.
Tolo Lege.
Tolo Lege. Have a blessed day. I love you.
Pray for each other and pray for the church, I think is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, pray a rosary. Exactly. Pray. That's something we didn't say real quick. Pray for your bishop. Pray for the pope. Pray for your priest. Say a rosary for them daily. Like, comment, subscribe. Say a rosary for us.
Yeah, and just one more thing.
Okay, yeah.
On the tail end, because our last episode was about the rosary and we talked about this, the Marian apparitions plead with us to pray for the Pope and the bishops.
Yeah.
Pray for the clergy.
Yeah.
So, do that.
Pray for them. Pray for them. Don't post about them on Twitter. Pray for them. Pray a rosary for them, for your bishop, for your priest, for your pope. Pray a rosary for us. Have a blessed day. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for listening.